Welcome to this week's Peep Show episode of Bare Naked Bravery. My name is Emily Ann Peterson, and I'm host of this podcast. I'm also a singer-songwriter, and I'm a creative consultant, and I'm also the founder of this thing, which is just brand new. It's called the School of Advanced Bravery. And today we're talking about how to nurse your wounds of rejection, which is sometimes a doozy of a topic just because we're dealing with like a lot of hurt feelings, and just like rejection wounds are sad, just sad. And I think that some of the best ways to deal with rejection are to remind yourself, first of all, is remind yourself of your intention to begin with. So let's say, for instance, you submitted an article for a publication that you want to write for. A lot of these places, especially for the literary field, you have to send in a ton of submissions and you get a lot of rejection letters. And so I think it's important that if you can, before you do your big ask, a lot of times, sometimes we don't know when we're about to be rejected, but in some cases, when we do know that rejection is a possibility, and that we are risking that rejection, it's important to remember your intention right as you're submitting the thing. So for instance, if it's this publication that you're doing or you want to write for, remind yourself of why you're writing for that publication or why you're submitting to other publications in general. Maybe not just this one specifically, but in general, why are you putting yourself out there? What is the reason? Who's the audience that you're trying to reach out to? Who are you trying to talk to in risking this rejection? If it's like a first date or you're asking somebody out on a first date, you can say, okay, well, your intention is to find a relationship and find a really good, wonderful companion and somebody who you're attracted to and all of these things. All of those intentions might not have anything to do with that person specifically. And so it sets you up so that if you do get rejected, you can understand that, okay, this one person was not my one and only chance, or this one publication was not my one and only chance to accomplish or attain the intentions and meet the intentions that you're setting for yourself. So the first step is remember your intentions. Then if you've been rejected, again, remember your intentions. When you get that rejection letter, when someone says, no thanks, or they give you the friend shoulder, remember your intentions. If it's like romance relationships, if the intention is to start a family and make connections and meet new people, then there are ways to do those things, like spend time with your own family, build your own family of friendships too, make connections with people, meet new people at the grocery store. It doesn't have to have romantic connotations to it. And what it does is it eases up that pressure and helps you identify the fact that that rejection is, again, not the only reason or only method to meeting those goals that you have for yourself. So the second suggestion that I have, which I forget who suggested this to me in the first place, but I've heard it a lot from various creatives and other people who put themselves out there, other business owners, things like that. What I call this is a warm fuzzy folder. So basically, anytime somebody says, Emily, you're doing a great job, or they leave a comment on an Instagram post and they say, oh my gosh, this episode was amazing. Or if somebody joins the Bare Naked Bravery community, and in the welcome survey before I let you guys into the group, just to weed out the weirdos, I ask 3 questions. And if somebody leaves a comment like, this was the most amazing episode, or I really enjoyed whatever, your book or whatever I've done, I take a screenshot of it and I put it in a folder on my phone. I also have a warm fuzzy folder in my Gmail account as well. So then that way I can just, whenever I've experienced some sort of rejection of some sort, any kind, I can go into Gmail and just type warm fuzzies, and all of the emails that have like really glowing reviews or people who have identified with the work that I've put out in the world, or somehow somebody has reminded me of the real reason why I do what I do. Those are all in one place, easy to access. And the reason why I do that is, again, when you're feeling these rejection wounds and you've got that sting of rejection happening, sometimes it's really great to give yourself some externally sourced intention reminders. So yeah, you can remember your intention internally, but if you're feeling like crap, or if that rejection has really just gotten you off the rails, it is so imperative that you remember that other people need your bravery, and that other people have validated the fact that you're going in the right direction, you're doing the right thing, you're taking the right steps. And that's really important to have nearby. And sometimes people don't know right away, that you need that kind of attention, or that you need that kind of like reassurance and support and encouragement. So having a folder where you've kept all of the previous support and encouragement you've received, whenever you need it, you can tap into it at, just upon command, basically. The third thing that I would recommend is doing some version of a social media detox. Now, I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, but I don't think that wounds of rejection necessarily mean that you should make drastic decisions during that time. So if your business is solely reliant upon your ability to be present and available on social media, then maybe your version of a social media detox is spending 1 hour a day on social media, not 5 or 3, however many you spend, or spending 15 minutes a day on it, not however much. I think social media can be a really tough place when you are feeling rejection wounds, because it's naturally a place, just naturally the way social media is. Like, I'm not asking social media to change by any means, but it's a place for people to share exciting news and announcements and make connections with other people. So if you are in a place where you are naturally trying to avoid comparing yourself to other people, social media is going to be a difficult place for you to spend time in. Because if you're feeling these rejection wounds and all around you, you can see how happy and successful everyone else is, you might infer that they aren't experiencing these rejection wounds themselves, or they aren't feeling the sting of failure on their end as well. We all experience failure and wounds of rejection, and it's important to remember and give yourself a safe space without that kind of false comparison that social media can give you. So that's just a suggestion. You don't have to take, please don't, you don't have to take all of this word for word. These are just what I do when I'm experiencing wounds of rejection. I'll take a pause on social media, or I will only spend the 10 minutes that I need to post, and then maybe comment to 1 or 2 people, respond to some messages on Instagram, that kind of thing. And then I'll get out of there and make that happen. So that detox can be really powerful, a powerful way to kind of give yourself some space from putting yourself out there too much in a very exposed and unsafe way. Unsafe being relative to your personal needs for boundaries, that kind of thing. Okay, the fourth thing that I recommend is that you do things that feel good. So if that's going and getting a pedicure, or go get a massage, or go on a really long walk, or listen to a favorite audiobook again, do things that feel good. Listen to music that makes you feel good. There is a place for feeling good and sad music. Sometimes when you are feeling sad, if you listen to really overly energetic, happy music, it's kind of like that social media comparison thing. You're hearing such happiness, and yet you're feeling such sadness, and it's hard to make that leap. That's such a drastic leap from sad to happy. So sometimes it's nice to just go from sad to nostalgic, maybe music or vibes, or movies, or other kinds of input that you're putting into your life. if you stay in just that sadness, sometimes that's, that is the difference between wallowing. If you are trying to move through sadness into a new emotion, move from pain into a new emotion, if you are really, really intentional with the types of input that you're taking in, that'll really help with these moving that wound of rejection along into healing completely. So I recommend doing things that feel good. And sometimes it feels good to listen to sad music. So just be careful about how much, that can affect you and how long you want to stay sad. That's another thing, is that if you are determined, it's completely fine to say, you know what, I just got a massive rejection letter. I need to take the next 3 days. The next 3 days are like rejection letter days. And I'm just going to take some bubble baths, read a book, do some social media detox, and, listen to some sad songs. And when the 3 days is up, I'm going to change gears. Sometimes giving yourself that allotment of time can really be powerful. So that's my 5th thing, is decide how long you're going to nurse this wound. Okay. And then the 6th thing is just to remember that when you are feeling really like woundy, when you're feeling this rejection wound, it is not a time to make really big, massive decisions for your life or for your business or for your career or family or whatever. Give yourself the space and the time to nurse those rejection wounds so that you can come back to the project or the relationship or the intentions with a healed and somewhat level-headed approach and clear mind to make some decisions that are still in alignment with what you want to accomplish in the world. If you are someone like me who has great big dreams and ideas, you have a lot of momentum that moves you forward. And then sometimes a rejection can feel like a full stop. And then you have nowhere to go and nowhere to put that energy because you've encountered a complete dead end, or what seems like a complete dead end. And so giving yourself some space and time to understand and basically give yourself some time to recalibrate from that dead end, you'll start to look around and realize, oh, this is not a dead end. This is a turn left, not a complete stop. Your dreams are irrelevant and stupid, and list off the other things that go through your head when you've received a rejection. So those are my 6 ways to deal with wounds of rejection. And we've got a masterclass coming up. I know that last time, I keep changing the names of the masterclasses. Basically, I'm teaching a monthly paid masterclass and a monthly free masterclass. The paid one is for the students of the School of Advanced Bravery. So you can, on my website, there's all sorts of information on that. And then there's also going to be a monthly free masterclass available to anyone who wants to attend. And so this upcoming masterclass that we're doing is called Speak Up, Finding a Voice the World Can Hear. And we're going to be talking all about things like how to find and pick your audience and how to pick the right timing for when you do speak out, and also like which volume to use, metaphorically, which volume to use when you're speaking to people. It's really important that when we have valuable information to share with people, that we're sharing it in ways that can be easily understood and comprehended by our audience. And if this is intriguing to you, it should be if you're a business owner or you're a creative who's making money off of your creativity. This is part of being a business owner, and it's part of putting yourself out there in exchange for some value. This is really powerful information, especially if you're a parent or if you are in a relationship with someone and you have something to tell them, and it's possibly a sensitive information and critical news, then this is going to be a good class for you to attend as well. We're just going to be talking about some really good methods of communication and questions to ask yourself before you take the big leap and make the big announcements of life or business or work and all that other good stuff. So go to emilyannpeterson.com/workshops, and you'll see a link to go ahead and RSVP and register to that. And when I offer it again in the future, we're offering it later on this month, but if I offer it again in the future and you are listening to this like 3 months from now, say, you can still sign up for that masterclass and you'll just get on the list for when it's offered the next time. Awesome. Okay, you guys, those were my ways of nursing your wounds of rejection. Again, it's remember your intention, create yourself a warm, fuzzy folder. And if you want ideas about how to actually implement those, in your iPhone or in your Gmail with some labels and that kind of thing, let me know. Third is do a social media detox. Fourth is do things that feel good. Fifth is create a time allotment for how long you're going to nurse your wounds of rejection. And then fifth is to just try not to make super important decisions or drastic decisions based on those wounds of rejection. You guys are doing so many wonderful things in the world, and it is my honor to share these things with you. So please drop by the masterclass if speaking up and finding your voice so that the world can hear. If that interests you, we would love to see you at the masterclass. Again, that is our free one for this month, and we'd love to see you there. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and download your Bare Naked Bravery bundle with a bunch of free stuff, free worksheet, free songs, free coloring book. Those are available to you, to everyone, always. And you get on the list to hear about all of our masterclass ideas that are coming up and future podcast episodes that get released as well. You guys are wonderful and amazing, and I want you to remember that we need your bare naked bravery.